I wanted to think of some quotes that would help people shifting their mindset from being a spender to being a saver. These are mantras that I use when I'm about to make a purchase, or when I'm scrolling Amazon, or when I'm at a store, or just scrolling Poshmark, or thinking about buying anything other than investing in my future, right? Spending buys you moments and saving buys you options, and options are what freedom is made of. Could not agree more. I like the option of going on vacation instead of having this really cool toilet seat cover. The shift from spender to saver isn't about restriction. It's about reclaiming control over your future. I know Morgan Housel talks about this, where he's talking about, he thinks about his future self and that he is investing in freedom in the future. And that's why he chooses to put more money into savings and retirement than spending on stuff currently. In a world built to separate you from your money, saving is a quiet form of healing. One of my favorite creators, Timothy Ward, talks about this more eloquently than anyone I've ever met. He talks about how the system is really rigged to keep you in debt, in crisis, in survival mode, so that you are clocking in to that 9 to 5 or longer for your entire life. 9 to 5 till you're 65. And then when you're finally free, you can't enjoy. Wealth isn't built by what you earn. It's built by what you don't feel pressured to spend. The modern economy rewards consumption, and financial freedom rewards restraint. It is so important. I have shifted my mindset to believing that slowed my impulsivity to spend. And I have changed the entire trajectory of my life by committing to not impulse spending. I started off allowing myself the freedom to spend at the thrift store as much as I wanted to, but I brought in a lot of things and I ended up decluttering. I did a spring cleaning recently and got rid of 12 trash bags worth of stuff. I eventually got over it. When I did a low buy year starting in January, and then realized I was failing miserably, I started to see how much the marketing machine was really deeply ingrained in my sense of identity, and that my hobby was buying things. When I get bored or feel unproductive or useless, that's my go-to. That's why I started this channel too. I really want to help other people to not make the mistakes I did, or if you did, understand that it's not you. We were programmed into a life of consumption. This is a capitalist economy. This is how we live. I have the Freedom app. I do not have TikTok on my phone. I do upload to TikTok on my computer. I have a wonderful following there. I've been monetized on TikTok for a while. So I switched over YouTube to try to monetize here. And I really want to create value and help people understand that this is the world we live in right now. And there are things that we sort of have to do in order to get ahead. And I do believe it's still possible in 2026, even with rising inflation costs. I just think we got to be smarter. I'm trying my best to be smarter, and I've been doing this for a long time. So the best time to invest was 30 years ago. The second best time is now. I'm Lauren Teresa. Thank you so much for watching. The investment accounts that I use currently, I have a Robinhood account, I have a Fundrise account, I have a Betterment account, and I have an E-Trade account. E-Trade I'm currently not using. I'm just letting it hang out. All the rest are somewhat actively managed. And then I have a fourplex in Florida that provides cash flow. And I rent here in my current home. Any questions or comments are highly encouraged. I also wanted to look at some of the top 10 practical frugal habits that people who retire early or traditional retirees do to maintain their lifestyle on a fixed income. And they are waiting before buying, usually giving anywhere from a 48-hour to a 30-day holding period when they click buy. They drive their cars for longer, meaning they buy practical cars they can keep up with. I have a 2015 Prius V wagon. I love that car. I have had to do some expensive maintenance, namely the hybrid battery replacement. So sometimes I think, man, I should have just bought an old RAV4. It's fine. I like that I don't have to stop as often to get gas, and that's the car I'll be driving for the next decade. They enjoy being home. I have always enjoyed being home. I loved my grandmother's houses. I called them my grandmother's houses because they're the ones who took care of them. And I liked that feeling. I've always been an introvert and a homebody, so it works well for me. I enjoy being here. I love making content. I would do it whether I got paid or not. So prepared to be sick of me. Sorry, that was weird. They think in cost per use. So if I buy this sweet Yellowstone wolf shirt off of Poshmark for $24, including shipping and tax, how many times am I going to wear it? I wear it every day, but I want to buy quality items, even if they're more, if I know I'm going to use them over the long run. I do tend to buy cotton. I live in Hawaii on Oahu. The clothing gets worn out here. We do a lot of washing. My skin is pale and I sweat a lot. That's a side note. They combine trips. So this is where I'm planning my errands. If I'm going to be in town playing volleyball near Costco, I try to time my getting gas and groceries at the same time. I do this mostly, but I drive a Prius. It costs me $50 to fill up my tank. It costs me anywhere from $100 to $150, really $200 a month if I'm really pushing it, driving back and forth to the North Shore. I have a friend who lives up there, and it is close to summertime. It's June 1st. Anyway, I drive a lot. They learn simple repairs like changing out your air filter, little things with the washer and dryer, or oven repairs. I'm very fortunate because my partner is in both the carpenters union and the electricians union. He's extremely handy. We do a lot of things around the house. I ordered a grout kit and new toilet seat covers, even though it's for our rental. I figure those are things that I'm going to have to cover anyway as a person living here. They control clutter. I guess the retire early, minimalism, frugality, triangle of triangle of dominance. That sounds weird. Okay. We do control our clutter. A lot of this started earlier before we retired early as a way to optimize and limit anxiety. I am a minimalist. I'm more of a cozy minimalist. I don't really necessarily have a problem with stuff, but if you were to look around my house, I do have my cutesy things. I have things that I love. Almost all of this was a gift from my partner, and I love crystals and rocks. Give me a pretty rock and I'll be happy. And then this I did get at the thrift store for $2. This I got for $14. It is a velvet framed painting, a real painting that I got at the thrift store. They put it on hold for me. It's pretty sweet. Controlling clutter. So me talking about my cool thrift store finds, that's going to happen over here. I have some cotton blankets. One my mom made, one I got at thrift store, half off, free blocks. They cook more often. This is really true. I actually happen to be one of those people who really likes cooking. My dad owned a restaurant growing up, barbecue restaurant in Austin, Texas. Check out the Green Mesquite if you're ever around. We're going to be home at the end of July, and I'm taking my kids. They've never been to Grandpa's restaurant, so we're going to go. Cool plug for my dad's old place. Anyway, he ended up selling it to his employees, and we still have a great relationship. Love those guys. Can't wait to go visit, and I will 100% pay full price. There's landscaping happening today outside. Usually it's Thursdays. Today it's Monday. It's the summertime here in Hawaii. It's just going to happen. I'm going to try to cancel out background noise when I edit. They buy freedom, not stuff. Yes, when I am thinking about purchasing something because I'm on a fixed income, and even before I retired early, I often thought, is this thing worth what it's going to be in the future? If I were, instead of buying this trinket, if I take this $12 and I put it in my retirement account, in 10 to 30 years from now, am I going to be grateful for the money I have in my retirement account, or am I going to want this thing? Generally, it's the retirement account. Warren Buffett not getting haircuts because that $10 haircut to him was worth $10,000 future. So I guess he cut his own hair. I don't know. He doesn't really have a lot of hair. Anyway, they practice contentment, being grateful for what we have. I think this gets me out of the doom purchase So I get obsessed with buying things. Right now, it's a chest freezer so that I can take less trips to Costco. With rising prices in the economy, I'd love to be able to batch cook, put things in the freezer, always have food on hand. So I'm not tempted to buy food out. When there are sales, I can optimize my saving by purchasing things on sale, stick them in the freezer. It's about $8 to $10 a month here currently to run that chest freezer. So I'm sort of just sitting on the fence of, is it really worth it? Do we really need it? Before that, it was the espresso machine. It's still on my radar. There's a guy in town who refurbishes the really fancy, high quality espresso machines. And he's got one currently refurbished. It's $425. And my Nespresso costs me a lot of money. I love it because I don't have to know anything, and it saves me from a trip to the old coffee shop, but I know I could be saving more and still having high quality coffee. If I buy a $425 machine, it's going to be a year or two before I recoup the cost. So I am going to be hedging. Do I want to buy a $425 machine, or do I want to buy an $80 machine every year? I don't like throwing things in the garbage. So eventually, what I'll probably do is ask for it as a combined birthday and Christmas present from either my partner or my parents. If you are thinking about retiring early, or you're a very frugal person and you're learning all of the tips and tricks that you're in the right place, I have been stuck at 700 subscribers. I would love to monetize this channel. So if you get any value out of what I'm saying, please consider liking and subscribing. You're going to help out this mom of two. I appreciate you all. Sometimes being frugal can suck, and other times it's literally the best thing in the world. I want to read some statistics about debt in America. The average American carries over $6,000 in credit card debt, and people are working really hard just to pay interest on money they've already spent. Nearly 60% say they're living paycheck to paycheck. Even with good incomes, people are struggling to get ahead. And a $5 daily habit, that's $1,800 a year. I know there are people who look down on coffees. Maybe it's not coffees. For me, it's trinkets on Amazon. I just bought a $12 garden gnome. I'm not sure if I regret it yet. Part of me does, part of me doesn't. The treat yourself part of me does not. But the part of me that 3 years from now will look back and say, why did I buy that? That part of me is pissed. The average new car loses around 20% of its value in the first year. That some purchases that you make, everything is a sunk cost. This Apple computer, this $3,000 camera that I bought. I could have bought a refurbished one. A lot of the ones I was finding on Facebook Marketplace had issues that I didn't want to get repaired. I figured this is an investment in my future career here at YouTube. So no, I don't regret buying this beautiful camera. I don't regret buying the lights. I don't regret buying the laptop. I did the research on what was going to last me a decade. But what I wanted to talk about today is being retired early, being frugal, this economy that we're in, and the mindset that it takes to shift away from impulse buying and, being a semi-shopaholic. I've fallen prey to marketing through social media and other means, whether it's my friends or family, or compare myself to other people. It has led to regrets. One of my favorite quotes is, "Words don't teach, life experience teaches." That could not be more true when it comes to the pain of making poor financial decisions. I have made almost all of them. I'm still semi-retired early. I'm 43 years old. I have enough to live on for the rest of my life. It could be meager in the current economy. I'm not totally worried about that. I have been looking into getting back into part-time work. I've given myself a 1.5 year ramp for YouTube,